Hello everyone, and welcome to the Unearthing Engine, the channel that takes a deeper dive into manga, anime, and other media. I'm Tensai Shoten, your host. Before we get started, remember to like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell. I've been reading the Chainsaw Man manga since it released in 2018, and I have to say I have a lot to say about it. In fact, that would be an understatement. In fact, too much for one video. So, strap in, as this will be a multi-part series that will look at a variety of aspects of the Chainsaw manga and anime. It should be a really interesting ride. Why did Chainsaw Man take over the world? Let's start with some background. Chainsaw Man is a Japanese action manga written and illustrated by Fujimoto Tatsuki and published in Weekly Shonen Jump. When published in December 2018, the first chapter created an immediate impact in the world of shonen manga that up until that point was mainly filled with the same recycled stories. Unlike most shonen, Chainsaw Man has very violent and brutal graphics, but it's also heartwarming with great humor and interesting themes. Interestingly, it rapidly rose and surpassed in popularity some of the biggest shonen manga at the time, like My Hero Academia,呪術廻戦, and Black Clover. You don't often read a manga and stop to think while you're reading it, am I really enjoying this? Is there something wrong with me? Chainsaw Man is not your average Shonen Jump series. Sure, it's darker and more violent than a lot of other manga, but it's not just that. The series is weird. If you've read Fujimoto's previous series, Fire Punch, you'll know a little bit about what to expect. And while Chainsaw Man does tone down some things from that insane series, it's still a crazy ride. For complete context, I absolutely love Chainsaw Man, in case you didn't know. I think it's an incredible experience. It's completely unique, and it feels just like a whole different medium. When you think about Chainsaw Man being published in Weekly Shonen Jump, though, something seems off. If anything, you would look at it and realize, maybe it's in the wrong magazine. Maybe it's meant to be an Ultra Jump. Maybe it's meant to be in a seinen magazine. Why is it in Weekly Shonen Jump? I think a lot of people had that same response when you first were introduced to Chainsaw Man. It literally throws everything in your face. It does not pull the punches. It does not hold back. And right from the get-go, you can fully recognize that this isn't a normal Weekly Shonen Jump experience. This isn't like a lot of other series. It's kind of already subconsciously piquing your interest. What the hell is this? So my first question was, how is it going to differ from other successful Weekly Shonen Jump series? While Chainsaw Man definitely isn't the only series that does its own thing and steps out of the shonen mold, from its very core, from the very first chapter, everything just felt out of place. Like this manga should not be in Weekly Shonen Jump because it's either too mature, too serious, or played on the emotional vulnerability of the character's mental state or personal trauma, or just the overly chaotic bloodshed that comes in with these very powerful devils and their interaction with one another. If you've read Fujimoto's previous work, Fire Punch, you know that he does not write or tailor his story or narrative to a specific demographic or audience. He simply writes whatever he wants and creates this very unorthodox and unpredictable style. In return, we get this very enjoyable story. And as much as Fire Punch's very odd conclusion, in general, the concept and the design behind it is extremely interesting. How it was implemented with his very unpredictable and unorthodox nature probably doesn't mesh all too well. But undoubtedly, its architecture and the overall idea will take you completely by surprise, and something you will never expect to happen, even if you give it some thought. It's beyond impressive when it comes to subverting expectation. He's just incredible at it. And he's done that in Fire Punch already. But now he has this series in a weekly magazine that normally has some sort of mold or consistency between all the series. What the hell? This manga sticks out like a sore thumb. Chainsaw Man, the name by itself, the imagery that was used in the promotional work, it just doesn't fit. I think it works so well to propel so much interest and intrigue in such a weird story. What is Chainsaw Man? Like, why is it with Demon Slayer and My Hero Academia and One Piece and Jujutsu Kaisen? That quirkiness, that uniqueness, that's something that stands completely on its own 2 feet. But because the other series that surround it, because of the magazine and the history of it, for me, is the charm of Chainsaw Man. Because of the guidelines that Weekly Shonen Jump set, what age demographic they actually promote to and publish to, there are rules and guidelines that have to be followed. And Chainsaw Man followed none of these. If anything, it pushed those boundaries further and was one, if not the only series to completely jump over those guidelines. Which makes it all the more interesting. And this is before you've even read the story. But the beauty of Chainsaw Man isn't the fact that it's doing all of these chaotic things that wouldn't necessarily stand out in Sennin magazine. Because the fact is that a lot of other series within that scene and magazine are going to be doing similar things. The beauty of it is that it's still a very Shonen Jump flair. Like, it still has that core Shonen Jump. Not something that overpowers it, but it's enough to give people that kind of comfortable consistency that they're used to with other series. So when you go through your weekly read and you're reading Shonen Jump magazine, you read Kaizen, you read One Piece, you read My Hero, and then you get to Chainsaw Man, and you know it's going to be super chaotic, but it's still going to have that Shonen Jump flair or soul. Seinen story mixed with a perfect Shonen Jump story. It has these very kind of simplistic elements mixed with very complex, chaotic, and unpredictable elements to create this balancing act that the manga teeters on. The line of it not being acceptable to the audience of Weekly Shonen Jump. It goes back and forth and back and forth, but it never falls over. But, and it's a big but somehow it's not only remained true to its core, as it was able to attract a huge amount of love from Shonen Jump fans, which is nothing short of impressive. I know a lot of people that have had exactly the same reaction that I've had, and it's probably the biggest reason why it has blown up globally and attracted so many different people, because it's actually something different. But it's not trying to be different for the sake of it. It's not trying to break quote-unquote theoretical mold that Shonen Jump has. If anything, the author is just writing his own story. He's just doing everything that he wants to do, and somehow Shonen Jump magazine has just sort of complied, which is crazy. So the anime just started broadcasting in Japan, which is interesting, and it's streamed on a variety of streaming platforms around the world. You can check it out. It's an adaptation of the comic book of the same name. At present, there are about 11 volumes of the manga that are completed, a total of about 97 chapters. The second part said serialization in October 2022, so recently. But after announcing in 2020 to animate Chainsaw Man, its popularity skyrocketed, becoming one of the most anticipated anime of the year. I will be doing a deeper dive into the anime, how it was handled, and my reaction. Look out for that soon on the channel. Make sure you subscribe. Hey everybody, it's Tensai from Unearthing Engine. Just a quick note that there may be some mild spoilers ahead. Nothing too serious, but just letting you know. Let's learn a little bit about the world of Chainsaw Man. Okay, although at first glance the world of Chainsaw Man looks to be similar to our own, but in reality it's more like a parallel universe. For example, the Soviet Union still exists and China's leader is a military general. There are even hints that Hawaii is an independent country instead of a state of the US. That being said, there are a number of elements that are the same, such as nuclear weapons, AIDS, and World War II. If we look at the technology and the living habits of the characters, we can estimate the story to be around 1997 our time. The story of Chainsaw Man is set in a world where human fears take physical form and become devils that then wreak havoc across the earth. These can be anything from tomatoes, to insects, to zombies, to guns, to darkness. Devils can take any shape in this universe. Devils can also create contracts with humans, granting the humans their powers, with some of them using them for evil, and some using them to hunt other devils. These hunters are important. They are known as devil hunters. Some work privately, but most work for government agencies like the Public Safety Agency depicted in the manga. Please help the channel grow by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Also click the bell notification so you'll be notified when we publish a new video. And follow us on all of our social media. Thanks everybody. So, what sets Chainsaw Man apart? There are many things that separate Chainsaw Man from the rest of the shonen pack, but here are a few. 1. Mature themes. This manga explores mature themes through layered writing and an art style filled with gruesome and brutal imagery. Number 2. The side characters really stand out. Every character in the Chainsaw Man world feels like a real person. They have their own ambitions and their own reasons to keep on going, and they're not just pawns of the development of the main character. Chainsaw Man, I can't believe I'm saying that, Chainsaw Man might have the best array of side characters of any manga. First, none of them feel like a burden, and they all contribute to the story in their own unique way. And second, one of the best villains of all time, by far. 3. No character is safe. Or really, no one is safe. Anime and manga fans are kind of accustomed to the fact that no matter what happens, the main character of the story is going to survive. Even if the character is almost dead, everybody knows that he's somehow going to pull through. However, when you're reading Chainsaw Man and everybody's dying, you know that Chainsaw Man doesn't give its characters this kind of plot armor, which means that anyone can die at any moment, no matter how popular they are in the community. This feeling that your favorite character could die at any moment really keeps you on edge. You want to continue reading to find out what happens, but at the same time you're like, shit, he might die. I mean, actually die. This is really fantastic feeling. 4. The main character is just built different. Denji doesn't have dreams of becoming Hokage or a pirate king. He just wants to have a normal life. A life where he could eat what he wants, when he wants, have people close to him without fear of death. Sure doesn't sound like the main character in a shonen manga, right? But this is what makes Denji so interesting. He's relatable to the readers, and it allows for the manga to explore themes of connection, control, power dynamics, and interpersonal relations. 5. Makima. If you read the manga, you know why it's Makima. Makima is the main antagonist of the story. He's extremely cunning and manipulative. She controls Denji through the promise of romantic and sexual relationship, while also threatening him with extermination if he disobeys her. Sounds like my girlfriend. Ruthless and normally dispassionate, she will do whatever it takes to reach her goals, even at the cost of the people she should be protecting. But she's not! She's bad! She's really, really bad. As of October 2022, the manga has sold over 16 million copies. It has not only been a commercial success, but critically acclaimed. In 2021, it shared the prestigious 16th Shogakukan Manga Award with teasing master Takechi-chan by Soichi Yamamoto. And it won the Harvey Award in the Best Manga category in 2021 and 2022. Thank you for today's sponsor, 𝒞𝒽𝒾𝓃𝓈𝒶𝓌. 𝒞𝒽𝒃 is a luxury activewear apparel brand, and it empowers women to live, look, and feel their best. I know my girlfriend loves them. They mix Japanese and Western design influences to break the boundaries of design, creating a unique remix of international cultures and the Japanese sense of harmony. They believe in creating sophisticated apparel that can be worn for any occasion. Feel confident wearing 𝒞𝒽𝒃 apparel when shopping or when going out on the town for dinner or dancing. They are perfect for girls' nights out, school events, or parties. They are made with environmentally safe fabrics, hand-sewn by their in-house team. Can be worn for all types of activities, workout activities, including like yoga, hiking, cycling, dancing, skiing, spinning, and even swimming. Their broad range of modern fabric designs can match and complement any wardrobe for any event, whether you're looking to feel sexy, cute, or just plain comfortable. They have a wide selection of modern, chic, and fashionable looks. They believe in embracing individuality of each design, and they have created variations which allow you to match it with your unique personality, mood, or wardrobe. Find the perfect leggings and sports bras to express your personality at 𝒞𝒽𝒃.com. And remember that by choosing 𝒞𝒽𝒃, you can be assured that your apparel was created only as the order was placed. This creates way less fabric waste than conventional manufacturing. With the holiday season rapidly approaching, don't waste any time looking for that perfect gift for your wife, girlfriend, or mother. You will find it on 𝒞𝒽𝒃.com. With thousands of choices, today is the right time to order. Once again, thanks to 𝒞𝒽𝒃 for sponsoring this video. Let's look at the author of Chainsaw Man. So Chainsaw Man was created by Tatsuki Fujimoto, who serves as both the writer and the illustrator. So Fujimoto is a kind of rising star in the world of manga and a self-identified cinephile. He takes inspiration from Western horror movies like Chainsaw Massacre to horror anime like 𝒞𝒽𝒾𝓃𝓈𶶑𝒗 and 𝒂𝒑𝒄𝒽𝒾. When one takes a look at his career as a manga artist, you would notice that despite the really spectacular success of Fire Punch and Chainsaw Man, he has spent much of his career as a one-shot manga artist. Fujimoto's career as a manga artist began with his first award-winning work, 𝒞𝒽𝒾𝓃𝓈𶶑𝒗. There were two chickens in the garden in 2011, which means that until 2016, when the first episode of his first full-length work, Fire Punch, appeared on Jump Plus web magazine, Fujimoto Tatsuki had spent roughly 7 years working on short manga. The pace of his work was so extraordinary that he sent one story to his editor every day and used the prize money from his one-shots to cover his living expenses when he was out of work for a while after graduating university. In his first full-length work, Fire Punch, in which the protagonist is an avenger, a hero, a god, a nobody, and at the same time changing his name and even his identity, it was just like my opinion of Fire Punch. I didn't come to my final conclusion of the story until I had read it maybe 6 times, and I spent a week processing what the hell I just read. That being said, while I was reading the story, I never ever wanted to put it down. It's a story that's full of creativity and moments that I would consider pure genius. Chainsaw Man is Fujimoto's most recent work. The main characters hit harder and are far more enjoyable. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. I want to thank you all for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and please turn on the notification bell so you won't miss anything in the future. Next time, we'll look a little deeper into the characters of Chainsaw Man.